Was there a point in your real life where you realized all your mom wanted for you was to be a good Muslim who married a Pakistani girl, and you felt like you disappointed her?
Yes, I mean, I've known that since I was a little kid. Like, since I was a little kid, my mom said, you know, you have to be a good Muslim and you have to marry someone I find for you, and here's jewelry that I bought for her. So, like, since I was a kid, that was the narrative. And when I started, you know, in college, when I was becoming a person, I remember being like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Because I don't think I can marry someone they find for me, but I can't disappoint my mom, because my mom would say kind of, you know, she would say like, oh, this is so sad. And I think she's changed her mind since she's moved here too, but she was kind of like, you know, I'm sort of done. Like, I've lived my life. All I have to look forward to is to find you a wife. That's all I have left. That's what she would say.
And that in traditional Muslim families, that becomes a big part of the mom's role,
Yes,
right? I mean,
yes.
because in the film, it's depicted, this is completely the mom's deal.
Yeah,
And
totally.
she sets it all up. And
We wanted to show that perspective, the mom's perspective. We wanted to show, you know, that arranged marriage does work for a lot of people. It can sort of, for people here where, you know, the romantic marriage is such a big part of the narrative of one's life, finding the one, all that. Their marriage is more of a contract between families, but it really works. My parents have a wonderful relationship, and they're truly, truly, truly in love with each other, and they were an arranged marriage. We do say, you know, there's a scene in the movie where I say, there's a thing called love marriage, and that's a real thing. Like, someone met someone, fell in love, and got married, and love marriage is a bad term. It's like a pejorative. Like, people will be like, oh, he had a love marriage.
is a love marriage sometimes code for someone got pregnant?
I'm sure it is, but you know, that was so not talked about, like a shotgun wedding. That was so not talked about that I have no idea if that's true or not, although I'm sure it is, but nobody ever talked about that.
Wow.
I mean, there's a big, you know, our culture is very, we were never taught about how babies happen. Like, nobody ever told us. Not in school, not at home.
No one has to talk.
No one has to talk. I never had to talk. Thank God. I don't want to talk.
Well, let me explain this to you.
Okay, yeah.
Tell you how it works.
Because there's some stuff going on I'm not quite getting. I have a couple questions.
That's why you don't have children yet. You just don't know how.
We're kissing a lot. I don't know why this isn't happening. We're sharing Coke from the same glass. I don't know why it's not happening.
Are you using the same toilet?
Sometimes. All right, so there's a little chance.
I gotta educate you on how this all works. But did you go through a period where you were estranged from your parents after those decisions you made?
There was a little time where we weren't talking as much, but we were never estranged. Here's the thing. You know, Emily and I just got married, we went to a courthouse and we got married, and once my parents understood that this wasn't going to be something that they could talk me out of, they did their best to embrace her. Like, we went to so when they met Emily, we went to New Jersey to visit them. Emily, we were already married. That's how they met.
Wait, you were married before your parents met her?
Yeah.
So it was extreme. Like, you had to make this decision.
Yes.
And do it. And
yes, so we had to, right after my parents found out, we sort of decided, like, Emily and I decided, like, let's just get married. That's kind of what we have to do, and then they'll just have to sort of accept her. And they did, and I didn't give them enough credit. They totally did. We went over there, and my mom had the jewelry that she was going to give, you know, to the woman she found for me. She gave to Emily, and they just, like, did their best to, like, accept her. And it helps that Emily's, like, the most lovable person in the world. But yeah, when I took Emily to meet my parents, we were already married.